Oh, so episode one, the Make It Epic Wedding Podcast with Tim and Matt. How are you, man?
Good, mate. How are you? Excited to be here. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? We've been talking about this. I feel like we've been hyping it up on Instagram. Hopefully we come up to I guess hopefully we're as good as we say we are. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We'll let the people be the judge.
Yeah, that's it.
Man,
We'll
we
give it our
we
best shot.
we started talking about this like 6 months ago, I reckon, at least.
At least. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been a crazy. Yeah, I feel like in the last 6 months has gone really fast, but also really slow too, in a sense of like there's been stuff we wanted to do, and then we've just been mucking around. And then the other day I was like, I'm buying a microphone today, and then here we are, and it's probably been like a week, and we're here winging it, and here we are. So we'll see what happens.
I know, right? We decided to go all in about 5 days before an epic wedding season.
Yeah, and I've got like the busiest August I've ever seen in my entire life about to start in about 3 days' time. But sink or swim. Here we go.
Easy. All right. Well, let's have a chat about what this podcast is about. So, how about you introduce yourself, man? What do you do? Why do you do what you do? How long you been doing this?
All right, there's a lot of questions there. But yeah, my name is Matt Ashton. I'm a wedding and elopement photographer. Kind of shooting all around New South Wales. I guess mainly based myself on the South Coast, Southern Highlands. And yeah, I guess I shoot everywhere in between. So I'm seen, I guess, up in the Hunter, in Blue Mountains. But yeah, I guess I love to shoot couples who are keen to get married and have fun and have a day that is all about them, and that there's no specific rules or anything that I want them to do. But yeah, that they are excited by what is happening. Man, this whole wedding journey and being a wedding photographer, I feel like it's come a long way. I guess a bit of background information about me. I am actually a carpenter and builder by trade. Did that for 10 years with a bunch of other little odd jobs and things like that at the same time. Always kind of shooting stuff. So never specifically weddings. It was always people. It was surf photography. It was landscapes. It was kind of anything, but nothing that actually made me money. It was just all for the fun of it. And then, probably 5 years ago, I would say about now, a good mate of mine, she asked me if I'd shoot her wedding. She didn't have a whole lot of money. So I'm like, hey, Matt, you got a camera? You can like shoot my wedding, can't you? And I was like, sure. Like, yeah, absolutely. I've got this. Never done it before, but you can trust me. Confidence is key. Just threw myself in the deep end and just had a crack. Loved it. Look back on the photos now. They were all right, I guess, considering I'd never done it before. And yeah, here we are now. 5 years later, shooting a silly amount of weddings this year. 2022 has been insane and still is. But yeah, super blessed to, I guess, have been able to do this full time for 2 years now. So I started right before classic COVID. So that was always a good time to start, I feel like. Spent a lot of time in lockdown and things like that and was wondering whether I'd made the right decision or not. But yeah, so 2 years later, I'm now full-time in this and looking pretty busy for next year already as well, which is exciting. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me, and I'm sure over the coming episodes, we're going to find out a whole lot more.
The dark side of Matt Ashton. Amazing, man. So how did you get started in photography then?
To be honest, my best mate, he bought a camera when we were about 17, 18, maybe something like that, when we just about finished school. And he bought this, like, I don't even know. Oh, yeah, it was our first camera we had. So I think at first he had like this Nikon point and shoot, literally all built in one. And I was like, that was pretty cool. And he went to Africa on this trip when we just finished school. And I was so jealous of him. I was like, what is going on here? And he came back with this. I remember this photo of these elephants. He came back with, it's very random, I know. But anyway, came back with this photo of these elephants. And I was like, that was sick. And then after that, we both went out pretty much like a week later. And we were just like, I just saw his photos and I was like, that was pretty epic. And then a week later we went out, we both bought ourselves a Canon 600D with a kit lens. So it was a classic little thing that probably now looking at it, I'm like, how did I shoot with that for a long time? And then, we just started like taking photos together. We used to go out on weekends and after school or after work, whatever it was at the time, and just shoot whatever we could. A lot of the time it was landscapes. We go drive through the national park and that's where we ended up, and we just go, cool, that was a cool sunset, and shoot away. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. As I said, I never planned on doing this full time. This was never something that I was like, yes, in 10 years, you're going to be a full-time wedding photographer shooting 70 weddings a year or something crazy like that. Like that was never my plan. I have literally fallen into it, and I don't really know how still to this day. I just, look, I'm just blessed that I'm in this position. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, and I guess that's a little bit about me, mate. And I guess now it's time to throw it to you. So yeah, tell us who you are, what your company is, because I suppose you're a bit different to me. You don't have your company, your personal name as your company. So introduce us, who you are, and yeah, what you do.
Yeah, awesome, man. So my name is 𝘸𝘸𝘸𝘠, and I own 𝘊𝘰𝘥𝘦 Visuals. So bit of a story with that. I suppose if we go straight into the name, basically, picked up a camera with my best mate Ryan, and we actually started 𝘊𝘰𝘥𝘦 Visuals 5-6 years ago now. And it was purely as a bit of fun, like we we jumped on the Sam Calder bandwagon. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a very kind of popular YouTuber back in the day, who really kind of started that revolution of like my year and a certain type of filmmaking for travel videos, and it was just super fun. And yeah, we fell in love with that, and we just started making videos. Like at first it was just GoPros, man. For the first couple of years, made these travel videos. Like we just went out camping, like went out surfing, fishing, just recorded everything we could, learned as much about video as we could, and like we just fell in love with that process. And yeah, it came to a time where Ryan was getting married, and he asked if I could shoot his wedding for him. And I was like, hell no. No fucking way. There's no way, man. Like I want to enjoy your wedding. But as good mates do, I ended up shooting his wedding. And it turned out all right. Like I had a really good time. Like it was actually so much fun. And like one of the guys that were there was getting married as well. He said, mate, can you shoot mine? And it just started from there. And it was purely as a hobby for a good couple of years. And it come about 2019 when I thought, you know what, like I really enjoy this, and I really wanted to put my own kind of spin on my films. And I got to a stage where like I really wanted to pull away from like the mundane, slow, romantic kind of like yellow tone films that we quite often see. And I wanted to throw my type of style on it. And that was the same time Ryan and I both had kids. We had kids a week apart. And he wanted to spend a little bit more time with the fam, and kind of wanted to move outside of the business and focus on his own work. So from that point on, I took it over, and that's when I suppose things just started going crazy. It wasn't too long after that I met you. We had our first wedding together. It's been a crazy journey. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey.
Can you believe that was 2 years ago? That wedding we shot together was 2 years ago, which is crazy. Like I feel like it's been maybe longer than that. I don't know, but yeah, when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was like at the end of 2019.
Yeah, 2.5 years
2019.
ago.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So, and you know what else? I was just thinking about it then, like, which I didn't say before, but like your best mate that got you into videography, his name's Ryan, and my best mate that got me into photography, his name's Ryan. So it must be something of the Ryans in the world. They're different people. FYI, they're not the same person. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it's cool to hear that you have like, you have a desire to create something that's, I guess, a little bit different to maybe what other people, I guess, in the video world are doing, which is always, it's nice to be different. It's nice to have a bit of an identity, and people can see your films and go, oh yeah, that's Tim, that's 𝘊𝘰𝘥𝘦 Visuals, that's, that's what he does. Which is always special. And, every couple are always going to want something different. And that's the best part, I guess, about like what we do is like, not everybody is the same. Yes, the market is potentially a little bit full of couples looking for videographers and photographers, but everybody has their own style and approach to the day. And yeah, I guess the reason why we're doing what we do is like, especially with this podcast, is me and you, we really click, and we have a style that works really well together, and it's quite similar in our approach on the day.
Yeah, 100%. Like and I tell this to couples all the time, right? Like whenever like we have a wedding together, like for some reason, like things just go really, really well, like really well. Like how many weddings have we had where like we end up, getting a feature on Hello May, or yeah, some of the some of the other directories. But look, the market is flooded, right? And I think it probably about 2 years ago when I really kind of took over the business and like took this seriously and really wanted to put my own kind of like unique like name and brand on a Bubbly Visuals. That's when I thought, you know what, like I'll just be me. And it's really paid off in spades, right? Like I love doing the things that make me happy, and I love doing the things that make couples happy. And it's always like doing that, I feel, just you get a better product, like
Absolutely.
yeah, man. So yeah, it's just the world we live in, right?
I know, it's crazy. And yeah, I do think that look, the beauty of what we get to do is that not everything is the same. Like not every wedding's the same. Not every style of like thing we're doing at each wedding is going to end up having to have the same outcome, so we can look at so many different styles of weddings we've shot, and I'm sure that there's some stuff that you probably would change, and that's the beauty, that we can evolve as we are going as well, and continue to grow. I'm sure that the weddings you probably shot 2 or 3 years ago were probably a little bit different to what you're producing now in terms of like your style. And it's the same with me and my editing. I look at stuff that I used to edit 2 or 3 years ago and I'm like, wow, is that really what I did?
Yeah.
And it's not that it was bad, it's just that when I compare the two now, I'm just like, technology's changed, and we learning every single day about how we're editing and doing things differently, and the way we're shooting, and it's pretty
like
crazy to look back.
Like you grow, right? You evolve in your business. And like for me, like putting myself like in front of a camera, like that's not something that really came natural to me.
No,
but
it's still weird even right now, having like we've got a camera in like the corner of the room. That's a bit weird.
Hey.
I feel a bit trippy. I'm a
hey,
bit
mom.
I'm famous. I'm trying not to look over in this direction over there and be like hi, because it's tripping me out. So I've actually turned the screen around so I can't see myself.
That's all right. My mum's probably going to be the only one that watches this too.
Yeah. I think my mum's excited too. So but both our wives were actually helping us this afternoon, trying to come up with a name for a bit more. This is how organized we are. We were still brainstorming a name for what we we're going to call our podcast this afternoon. So, but yeah, shout out to the wives. They were helping us out with that too.
Yep. No judging for Jess on the handwriting. Sorry, Jess. She's gonna kill me.
Take that out.
All right. Well, so what have we called the podcast, and why have we called the podcast Make It Epic?
Mate, to be honest, look, what we do, we always want to make sure that our couples are having the best time, the most epic time. And I feel like we throw the word epic out there a lot. And look, it's a word that can be easily thrown out there, but we genuinely want couples to have the absolute most epic time on their day. And whatever that looks like, it is going to be different for every single couple. Epic doesn't always mean like wild and exciting. It just might mean like epically perfect for them. Like there's so many different ways to take that on. And I think like, for us, it's exciting as well, because like what we're doing, we're hoping that it creates a good vibe for everybody that's involved, that everybody who listens to this gets a lot of content out of it, whether that's planning for your own wedding, whether that's, I don't know, maybe you're a vendor, you're a creative out there that is similar to us. I don't know, doing the hard yards, working hard on your business. And ideally in a perfect world, we'd love for you guys to get something out of this too.
Yeah, for sure. Just going back to, I suppose, the name, right? Like we wanted to name it something that we thought could cater for everyone, and also describe us, our style, and like, part of our values, right? Like epic as a term, like for us is subjective. I know like definitely for me, like it doesn't have to be like a super wild, high energy like party. Like it can be like an elopement that is just catering for exactly what you want. And yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, like nothing makes me happier than finding out exactly what couples want, what their ideal wedding looks like, and then having the right vendors that can make that happen, right? Like, and it's pretty easy on the day, right? Like we know from all their planning, we go through exactly what the perfect wedding day looks like for them. Okay. And when we know that information, we get to know our couples and we make it epic.
Yeah, and when we get all that information, it makes our life really easy on the day. We probably sound like Nazis on the like lead up to it. I always feel like I'm a bit of a like hard ass on like the lead up to your wedding, where I'm like, you got to fill out this booking form and let's have a meeting and all this sort of stuff. But the reason why we do that is because on the day, we're there to capture your day and to make sure that it is the best. And a part of that is us knowing what is happening. And if we don't know what's happening, it's going to be really hard for us to lead the day and make sure that you have the best day. Like we cannot facilitate an epic day if the plan is not in place from the day one.
Yeah.
We don't want our couples having a watch telling us what's happening next. Like we want to make sure that we're the one pushing forward with the plans and the ideas and, producing that day that they want.
Yeah, exactly right. Like we can go into detail about like our booking process and everything else, but like I think it just comes down to like when you book us, like you don't just book us and then we rock up, on the day. Like there is an onboarding process. Like there is a process where like we want to get to know you, we want to get to know what your personality is like, what your values are like, who you are, the things that make you tick. Like I got lots of kind of questions that I love to ask to really find out, like who you guys really are, and then create like a unique experience for you guys, help you along that journey. So yeah, man, like we both value the client experience, and I think it's just one of the many reasons why like we feel like we can offer value to like not just couples but other creatives as well, respective in our own rights. Like we've done pretty well in our business, and I think it's also just about giving back.
That's it. Yeah. And I'm excited for this podcast. It gives us another layer to our businesses as well. We get to have a chat. The photography, videography, probably potentially even the whole like wedding industry as a whole can be a little bit lonely at times. Most of us are sole people working by ourselves. So it is nice to be able to like hang out, have a chat, and kind of, I guess, move forward on this, whatever this journey looks like of, this podcast. And look, I think our plan, like when we've been chatting in the past, the plan is to try and get some people on board, have some guest speakers, and hopefully produce some content for like, other couples that are planning, or maybe couples that are, I don't know, have already picked us to be their photographer and videographer for the future. Look, the sky is the limit. I feel like we're pretty open books when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So it could be dangerous, who knows? But it'll be definitely a good time. I'm super excited. I feel like this is all, it's all getting a bit surreal. It's pretty epic that we are in this position.
I know, right? Like we're like kids in a candy store. We're like, what do we talk about? Like there's a million things that we can talk about. But like, what do we do? What do we do first, man?
Yeah, that's it. And I suppose when we're talking about what are we going to talk about, there's probably a good little time maybe towards the end of this podcast right now is that, maybe if you do have stuff that you would like us to chat about, whether it is helpful to you or not, I don't really know. But maybe drop us a line. So you can jump on our Instagram pages. We will leave them in the show notes so that you can see our work. And also, tell us what you think about our podcast. And I think in the future, we're going to try and make a podcast. I mean, not a podcast. That was a wrong word to use. We're going to try and make.
We'll cut it out. We'll cut it out. No one has to
know. Bad, Matt. Smack him. Anyway, so the plan would be hopefully to make an Instagram account as well, so that you guys will be able to see what we do as a collective. And you'll be able to make some comments, hints, and tips.
Yeah, easy.
Definitely tips.
Same thing. For sure. Like we are an open book. I suppose when we say we have, we are a bit of an open book, and kind of, I don't know what I'm saying. Fuck, we'll cut it out. I'm trying. All right. So I'm glad we got to the end of this podcast without making a single mistake. That was
Oh mate, I could just see your mind. You're like trying to say something out loud, but it just wasn't happening.
Uh,
That's great.
yeah, shit. I
Lucky
lost my
podcast.
train of thought. But
Lucky we're not doing this on Instagram Live. We wouldn't be able to do this.
100%. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone for it if it was Instagram Live. But
No.
yeah, shit. Okay. Yeah, so yeah,
Let's
like
just do an
we
outro.
are we are a bit of an open book. So yeah, like we're open for topics. I suppose there's lots of things that we've done over the years, and you know, we want to provide a bit of value to our couples and to other creatives to, you know, lift the industry as much as we can. And it's, you know, like just another way of saying we have no idea what we're doing. So give us some ideas.
Yeah, we need help. We've pretty much dived headfirst into this, going, I don't know, like, let's give the podcast a crack. It can, you know, why not? It can't be that hard. It's going to be hard. We know it will be, but yeah, we're excited for the challenge of hopefully providing value, as Tim said, to couples and other vendors, and I guess learning from some of the mistakes that maybe we've made or stuff that we know works well, so that ultimately your wedding can be epic. And that's kind of why we're doing this in the first place. We want to make sure that your wedding or your elopement, or, you know, whatever you are doing towards that, is going to be epic. And that's the sole reason, I guess, that we started this, to create that value for you guys.
Yeah. Love that plug, you know. Make it epic.
That's it. Sign off. Run.
All right, guys. We'll stop it there for our first episode. Let us know how you think we went. You know, should we quit now, or would you like to hear more?
That's it. And maybe before we go, Tim, let's just maybe tell everybody where they can find you and see what you do.
Yeah. So I'm probably most active on Instagram. So Instagram handle is _below.visuals. So you can have a look at me there. I'm trying to put out a few more reels, you know, try and keep up with the trends. What about yourself, Matt?
Yeah, you can find me at Instagram as well at @MattAshton_photo. And yeah, trying to post there pretty regularly too. So come and say hi. And hopefully we will see you guys. The plan would be as maybe weekly to do this podcast. Hopefully we will have more of a bit of a plan of what we're talking about next time, so we're not just ranting. But look, it's our first one, so don't be too hard on us. But yeah, we are super keen to get stuck into this and to help you guys out on your journey, whatever that looks like, whether you're a creative or whether you are a couple.
Jeez, lost my voice.
That's a good ending. That's an outro. Sign off. Tim,
make it epic, guys. Signing out.
All right. Well, let's leave it at that for this week, and we will speak soon. You guys take care, and we will see you in a week's time. Bye.